Trust is the most fragile glass. Once broken, it cuts deeper than a knife. Every smile hides a shadow. Every friend hides a secret. And sometimes, the ones closest to you are the ones sharpening the blade. This is not just a story of betrayal, it is the birth of vengeance. Because when love is stolen, silence becomes the loudest scream, and revenge becomes inevitable. Adrian Cole believed his life was perfect, a thriving career, a loyal best friend, and the woman he dreamed of marrying. To him, loyalty was unshakable, and love was eternal. But perfection is fragile, and Adrian was about to learn how quickly it can collapse. Marcus Hale had been by Adrian's side since childhood. They shared secrets, victories, and failures. But behind Marcus's smile lived a storm, an envy that grew darker with every success Adrian achieved. And when Adrian found love in Elena Brooks, Marcus's jealousy turned into obsession. One stormy evening, Adrian returned home earlier than expected. The rain hammered against the windows. Thunder roared in the distance. He stepped inside, expecting warmth and laughter. Instead, he heard whispers. Whispers that didn't belong to strangers. He followed the sound to the living room, and there, bathed in the dim glow of candlelight, stood Marcus and Elena. Too close, too intimate, too undeniable. Adrian's heart stopped. The woman he loved, the friend he trusted, both bound together in betrayal. But Adrian didn't scream. He didn't fight. He simply turned away, his face calm, his eyes hollow. Because in that silence, something darker was born. Adrian's footsteps echoed in the empty hallway, each step heavier than the last. The rain outside blurred with the tears he refused to shed. In that moment, love died, and something far more dangerous was born. His silence was not weakness, it was the calm before destruction. And deep within, Adrian swore this betrayal would not be unpunished.
The night swallowed Adrian whole. Rain drenched his clothes, but it was nothing compared to the storm inside him. Every drop that hit his skin reminded him of the betrayal he had just witnessed. The woman he loved, the friend he trusted, both had carved a wound so deep it could never heal. But Adrian did not break. He did not scream. Instead, he walked into the darkness with a calm that was more terrifying than rage, because silence was his weapon. For days, he vanished from their lives. No calls, no messages, not even a trace of his presence. Marcus and Elena believed he had surrendered, that his silence was defeat. But Adrian was not broken. He was preparing. He spent his nights alone, replaying every memory, every smile, every lie. And with each memory, his heart grew colder. The man who once believed in loyalty was gone. In his place stood something else, a shadow, a storm, a man who had nothing left to lose. Adrian swore an oath to himself. I will not forgive. I will not forget, and I will not rest until they feel the same pain they gave me. Weeks turned into months, and the world whispered that Adrian Cole had vanished. Marcus and Elena carried on with their lives, believing the storm had passed. But storms never disappear. They only gather strength in silence. Adrian had not disappeared. He had transformed. Far from the city, he rebuilt himself piece by piece. The man who once lived for love was gone. In his place stood a shadow, calm, calculating, and merciless. He studied his enemies from afar, learning their weaknesses, their routines, their secrets. Every smile Marcus wore in public, every lie Elena told to hide her guilt, Adrian saw it all. By day, he was invisible. By night, he was everywhere. A ghost in the crowd, a whisper in the dark, a presence they could never see, but always feel. And then, the first move. Marcus received an anonymous letter. No name, no signature, just one line written in bold ink. The debt of betrayal is always paid in blood. Marcus laughed it off, but his hands trembled. Elena dismissed it, but her eyes betrayed fear. Neither of them knew. Adrian was already closer than they imagined.
Marcus Hale sat in his office, surrounded by luxury, yet haunted by unease. The anonymous letter still echoed in his mind, but he forced himself to laugh it off. He told himself Adrian was gone. He told himself betrayal had no consequences, but lies can only silence fear for so long. That night, Marcus's car alarm blared in the dead of silence. He rushed outside, only to find his windshield shattered, and on the driver's seat, a single photograph. It was a picture of him and Elena, taken secretly from the shadows. On the back, written in blood-red ink, "I see you." Marcus's hand shook. His arrogance began to crumble. For the first time, he realized Adrian was not gone. Adrian was watching. Meanwhile, Elena returned home to find her mirror cracked. Across the glass, smeared in black paint, were the words, "Loyalty dies once. Fear lives forever." Her breath caught. Her heart raced. She felt eyes on her, though the room was empty. Adrian had made his move. Not with violence, not with blood, but with fear. He wanted them to feel the weight of betrayal, to live every second knowing the shadow was near. And as Marcus and Elena trembled in their own home, Adrian stood in the distance, watching silently, his face calm, his eyes merciless. The game had only just begun. The silence inside the mansion was suffocating. Every corner seemed alive, every shadow whispered Adrian's name. Marcus's breath grew shallow, his chest tightening with dread. Elena clutched her trembling hands, her eyes darting across the room. A sudden knock echoed through the hallway, slow, deliberate, merciless. Marcus froze his glass, slipping from his hand and shattering on the floor. The knock came again, louder this time, like a heartbeat of doom. And then, silence. Elena whispered, "He's here," her voice barely audible. The candlelight flickered violently, as if the air itself feared what was coming. From the darkness, Adrian's silhouette emerged, tall and unshaken. His eyes locked onto theirs, and in that gaze, they saw their end. Marcus stumbled backward, his voice breaking. "Adrian, please, we were wrong!" Adrian said nothing. His silence was heavier than thunder. He placed a blood-stained photograph on the table, the word "finished" carved across it. Elena gasped, her knees buckling as she fell to the floor. Adrian stepped closer, his whisper slicing through the air. "I destroyed your trust. I stole your love. Now I will take what you can never rebuild, your peace." Marcus collapsed, begging for mercy, his pride shattered. Elena's sobs filled the room, but Adrian's face remained stone. He didn't strike with fists. He didn't kill with blades. Instead, he left them broken, alive, but hollow, ruined forever. As dawn approached, Adrian walked into the storm outside. The rain washed over him, but nothing could cleanse the scars within. He did not smile. He did not celebrate. Because revenge is not triumph. It is only the end of pain.